When I did criminal defense work, I would get the question, which I'm sure you've gotten many more times than I ever have, of how do you do that work? Like, how do you defend people? And then you always, my response is, well, it's, there's a couple layers. If you know the person did it and the evidence is very clear that they did it, and chances are the defense is not going for a not guilty. The defense then is landing the plane in a way that doesn't destroy this person's life and gives them the opportunities to eventually become a productive member of society. I think oftentimes we can be short-sighted when it comes to sentencing in the criminal context, and that's because the defendant is a member of the same community, presumably, that the prosecution represents. When they get sentenced to a crime, with rare exception, that person is going to get out again. So I think it's our job to move the ball forward, but to move the ball forward, not just for the victim, not just for the community, but also for the defendant, so we don't see this person again, right? This person now has the ability or the opportunity to
that's what I like about
member of society.
With
right?
my trauma philosophy, that's kind of where I go. Is like the whole purpose behind this is I got tired of representing family trees.
Right.
So how do you actually try to be the lawyer that someone who doesn't want to ever be in a situation again could have? We just prayed to God something would intervene, and the last lawyer ended up like allowing them to get off, knowing that it wasn't fixing the problem.
I think it's an issue the criminal justice system tackles and while it does its best to try and help, oftentimes we fall short, right? So the reasons people commit crimes aren't necessarily because they're bad people, but the majority of crimes, I think most people would agree who practice criminal law on either side of the aisle, they're committed out of crimes of circumstance, right?